Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Civilization 6 Gathering Storm. We have established our western colonies, or are in the business of establishing our western colonies, because I am incapable of learning anything from history. Here's the trick, you can't learn anything from history if you don't know history. That's how I avoid it. That's how I studiously avoid learning. So we're establishing a bunch of open-air museums over the next couple of turns. We're going to see our tourism continue to shoot up. We're going to establish a couple of tourism value wonders that have extra great people points of our important types on them, and slots for great works. And we're headed towards some important stuff. Like, we're doing really well here. We are on the path. 149 tourism is not enough to win the game, but it is enough to see our number of visiting tourists starting to climb pretty sharply. Now, again, notice that the goal we're aiming for isn't really that high if you exclude Cyrus. By which I mean we may have to, at some point, militarily exclude Cyrus. It's definitely a thing to think about. Fortunately, Cyrus does not have a very good image with our partners, right? We know Jayavarman has had some problems with Cyrus. Tamiris doesn't even know him, actually. And probably that's true of Jadwiga as well, right? Yeah, so none of these people would be terribly upset. None of the people we care about would be terribly upset if something were to suddenly happen to poor Cyrus. Also, Angkor Wat, that's definitely not a Persian city. Yeah, we're gonna maybe have to do something about Cyrus. That's all right. We'll build up. We'll get ready. Our science output is fine. We should be able to get some reasonable military technology going. So we have a lot of builders. We have more builders incoming. We definitely want to keep our Public Works policy card in for now. We'll probably actually swap it as soon as we get mass media, though. I would like to get that slot back. So, let us hope that we can get all the workers we need by then. How many charges do I have left over here? I think I had resolved, at the end of the last episode, to buy a builder on our next turn. Is that a reasonable thing to do? Yeah, probably, because this guy only has 2 charges left. So what, we'll like farm here and open air museum here, or honestly, I kind of want to go farm and open air museum. Just like the extra housing and the extra food from the big block of farmland is really nice. So we would need another builder up here to even just finish marking that stuff out. And then we do at some point need to build an open air museum here. And actually, since there are very few types of improvements you can build on desert, right here would be an extremely good spot for that. Right here would actually be the best spot, but unfortunately we can't do that until we can remove the antiquity site. Hey, what would it cost to just buy the archaeologist? An archaeologist is 1,600 gold. That's a lot of gold. I'll be honest with you, I am leery of waiting that long. But no, maybe that's the right thing to do. Maybe we build the builder. I'm not sure exactly how close Brunalaschi? I'm not sure exactly how close our great engineer is going to get us to finishing the Bolshoi Theater. But if this finishes before the Hermitage, maybe we just make a builder here and we save up for the archaeologist, because we do want to get that going. I actually like that better. And I know we need to buy tiles over here, although Reina being in place will help us acquire the tiles more quickly naturally. Yeah, we might just let that happen. Alright, let's say for now, gold is earmarked for buying the archaeologist, because that is important. We do want to get that done. Okay. And let us continue onward. We have some direction here. We know where we're going. Let's just enjoy the slow ride to that place. I do enjoy the idea of a joint war with Wilhelmina, although I know that you would not participate, but I'm certainly not giving you these very valuable sculptures. Have you seen the statue of David? That guy managed to make a tiny marble penis. How, you can't not just anybody could do that. That's a true work of art. Alright, so we're gonna go throw a charge on the Bolshoi Theater. Okay, so that's got that down to 9 turns. So it'll be... See, if we wait until the capital finishes the Hermitage, we'll have to keep the builder in the queue, or we'll have to keep the social policy in the queue. Although I guess I have access to theology, which I can use to get a free queue reset at any time because it only takes one turn to research. So maybe that's not a big deal. Fez has declared war on Dido because Fez became Jayavarman's... Oh, hold on. You're at war with Dido? I'm not paying attention to the geopolitical situation here. I kind of got my eyes on my own paper. So, yeah, the Spanish-Polish War is still happening. It has been happening for almost all of recorded history. Cyrus, weirdly, is not at war with anybody right now. Tomyris and Jayavarman are bonding over their shared love of Dido. Sorry, their shared love of fighting Dido. I left an important word out of that. Are you just... Do you have a great artist just sitting there? Give me that Hieronymus Bosch. Give me that Garden of Earthly Delights. You wouldn't even know how to appreciate it. What do you think the odds are that Tomyris can even spell triptych? You stick to murdering people with horses. It's a valuable thing. We'll handle all the great arting. Alright, well, I'm seeing... So you can see the odds of succeeding at any job have gone up due to our spy's experience level, but man, we're really good at robbing people. What I want is this screen. Does Cyrus have any... So Cyrus has a little bit of tourism income. I think we should maybe bounce this dude over to Cyrus's land. I was just kind of robbing Jayavarman because it was convenient and like I knew that he had great works. But maybe we should be more concerned with stealing from people we don't like. I certainly don't want to get caught trying to steal from Jayavarman. That could make things complicated for us. So let's jump you to... No great work to steal in the only city of his that we can see that even has a theater square. What about Dido? Dido does not believe in theater squares. Who else do we not get along with? Wilhelmina, we don't have any vision of any theater squares from her. Yeah, the players we don't like don't have a lot of theater squares. I was kind of curious if the government plaza actually gives you a mission abilities, but it looks like it does not. We could implant our spy in a city-state and try to cause unrest and fiddle with the loyalty levels. But I think... Alright, why don't we just send him to, like, Pasargadae. We'll go here and we'll just siphon funds while we build up XP. We might come back and steal great works from Encortam, but I'd really like to get a promotion that makes you better at stealing great works before we do that. So we'll just go here and siphon funds with extreme effectiveness. And if Cyrus doesn't like it, too damn bad. That's where I am right now. Alright, well, you have one build left. What is the most important thing we could build? The most important thing we could build is that farm. Okay, and we are acquiring that tile as we speak. You want to get over here and build an open-air museum on one of the few tiles that's actually worth working in this horrible snow city. And then, things being what they are, do I want to in fact buy the builder now and just accept that we're going to delay the archaeologist by 4 turns? No. I think the answer is no. I think I'm going to build a mine on the niter, build a mine on the coal, build the 3 open-air museums, and we will just build the other builder. Fez has declared war on Scythia and the Khmer. Yes, they're just fighting over the loyalty of those city-states. Pretty much just Fez, actually. Jayavarman is going to build the Taj Mahal. Hey, look at that. Spy intel that's actually useful. Here, let's run around in her territory a little bit more. I want to get vision of more cities. Okay, my promise to Jayavarman is considered fulfilled, so if I were to settle over there at this point, he would not scream at me about it. I'm going to put up the open-air museum first. Then we'll get the farms. Your job is to get over here now. Yeah, this settle I think is pretty great. If it causes us to get murdered by Dido, it will be less good. And we're still pressing up against housing. Like, I'm doing everything in my power here. The lighthouse has housing on it, I believe. Right? Yeah, somebody can live in the lighthouse. That'll get us out from under our growth penalty very temporarily. And what about the other city? Okay, well, this is under control. In 4 turns, we'll have the dam up and everything will be cool. Here, we are under the growth penalty here as well. And here. And we're all the way at our housing limit here. You can see how bad that growth penalty gets. All I can say is I'm working on it, guys. We're going to have neighborhoods soon. No, absolutely not. Now we're building up niter. We could use this to build ships. I don't remember which ships use niter, but there's definitely some ships that use niter. Got ourselves some scientific theory, which is good for most of our cities, plus food from plantations. Makes some of these tiles that we've been relying on for the whole game, like, really, really good. There's a violent tornado family in a place that does not really affect us. Sorry, my ostensible allies. Looks real rough over there. Ooh, I am putting this city on a coastal lowland, if I put it here. Well, I guess we're just going to, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to allow that to happen. Let's see. You only have the 1 charge left. This is the last thing you will ever get to do. We may as well go build this mine with this guy. And Karlstad's just always going to be kind of a bad city. It's unfortunate, but we needed a snow city, and honestly, I don't think that's a bad one. A city founded on snow tiles is always going to be kind of bad. Alright, you just live here and keep it safe. Forcers from the Netherlands. What on earth are you doing over here? Also, are trade routes being run to me? Routes to my cities? So no, this trade route probably is running through Norrköping, like to Jayavarman or something. Oh wow, Angkor Thom is damaged. Are you and Cyrus back at war? No? It might just be the case that that got damaged a long time ago and he hasn't bothered to repair it because he's been doing other things. Sometimes that happens. Alright. So, I'm definitely worried. There's a minimum era length. And I don't know how many turns it is, but I believe this era is going to be the minimum length because of the fact that we got a tech from the era after this before this one started. So I'm a little worried about our era score and about going into a Dark Age. Hitting these wonders is definitely going to help with that. But it is possible that we Dark Age anyway, and if it does happen, it's not the end of the world. Alright, so I have to clear the marsh first. This is actually going to use both of his charges then. I will be able to put it here once I'm... Oh, you know what? That's a volcano, isn't it? Is this a bad idea? Is it a bad idea for me to put this here? So yes, I will be able to construct it on this tile once I clear the marsh. It's just a matter of whether I want to actually do it over here for the sake of safety. I think I do. I think I don't want to burn the charge to build it and then have to come back and potentially rebuild it if that volcano erupts. She's watching us here with her caravel fleet. She's saying, don't do it. Don't you do it. But I'm going to do it. She's going to be real mad. You know what? She can't denounce us again. She has already denounced us the maximum amount. Okay, well, we definitely got to get this trader out. That is a high priority. And we'll probably run the trade route like from Orebro to one of his cities. Because we're going to need the growth a lot more over here. This city, as much as I would love to build other things, this city probably has to put up walls before anything else, just so that we don't get completely shredded by Dido's ships if she does declare war. We got to get like an actual boat at some point. I'm not really sure what my plan is on that one. One problem at a time, I suppose. Hey, look at that. We did it. Museums are on the front lines of the fight for culture, of good with evil. In any case, of the fight against platitudes and primitiveness. Boy, that's a whole... That's a very charged and loaded statement that I do not agree with. There's a lot of cultural baggage going on there. But hey, +4 era score for having built the Hermitage. So, the Hermitage is providing us with... So that we all remember, we all, including, you know, me, is providing us with some bonus Great Work of Art slots, some bonus Great Artist points, and apparently plus 1,000 tourism from rock concerts? Is that... Wait, what? What? Wait, what? Did it say that in the tech tree? Did I look at this in the tech tree? I didn't look at this in the... I guess it's in the civics tree. Is there something I don't know about the Hermitage being used as a place to stage concerts? Yo, where do you even research this thing? Here we go. No, it doesn't say that. You know, I don't know how rock concerts work. It might be the case that that's just like wonders, provide extra... whatever. We'll worry about it later. We'll worry about it when rock becomes a thing we can even think about. So hey, let's build a factory, shall we? 2 productions straight up, and that will apply to Stockholm and, you know, it will apply to these 3 cities. And then, if we get it powered, it will be even better. And we'll just see if that is a thing that is sensible to do. I mean, we have the coal. Also, check out that tile yield. 2 food, 7 industry. Pretty good for Uppsala. See, I'm going to build my open-air museum here. We'll put a farm right there. I'll build some moai next to the volcano or something. Alright, so we've gotten ourselves some good vision, some good trade route stuff. Let's actually run down here and get vision of some stuff down here. Oh, she has some moai of her own. I guess she was allied with them for quite some time. Or their suzerain, rather, for quite some time. Alright. We can't actually work both these tiles, but soon. Our weird little northern Swedish island over here. So what we need to do, really, is secure some food for this city. We just don't have any tiles that have any food on them at all. The harbor will help, I guess. We're definitely going to have to regrow that. It probably would have been better, looking at this in the with the benefit of hindsight, for us to buy the first settler in Umeå and have them settle here first to take advantage of the bonus population, and then settle Karlstad after we run out the dedication. Definitely did those in the wrong order. Ah, well, I was very focused on making sure we had all the terrain types so that our open-air museums would be good, but it didn't really... I don't think it provided very much benefit, because we didn't end up founding a lot of the open-air museums before putting down the second city anyway. Okay, Poland has declared war on the Netherlands. Stuff's happening. It's going to prevent me from looking at all that. Religious stuff. I don't care about this at all. I don't like... Catholicism is Spain's religion, right? Yeah, everybody can fight the Spanish. Population growth up, but loyalty down in this player's cities. Well, our cities are... So there's a limit to how useful we will find this, given that we have so many housing problems. But we're getting close to correcting our housing problems, and this will be true for a long time. And because our populations are so high, the loyalty in all of our mainland cities is phenomenal. It's really impressive. The loyalty of our island cities, I'm less certain of, but population growth is really valuable. I'm going to go ahead and vote for us on this. How much do I want to vote for us on this? Completely outvoting everybody, guaranteeing that we will win this would be very difficult. Poland is producing a lot of diplomatic favor at this point. I'm not sure what to do about that. Let's also have a look at this. So, because Sweden is in our game, there are some Nobel prizes to be handed out. There are 3 scored competitions that are added to the game by Sweden being here. So, Sweden wishes to acknowledge superb penmanship. We shall see who produces the best literature. Gain score by generating all the points that we're really good at generating. When the time runs out, members will be rewarded based on their score. Whoever has the highest score gets cheaper rock bands and extra album sales for rock bands. Does winning the Nobel Prize in Literature make people want to listen to your rock music? I don't know if that's a real thing in reality. I guess if John Cooper Clarke probably has some literature prizes, and I would absolutely go to performances of his rock band, so who knows, maybe that does work. Obviously, I would like it if this happened. We have no idea how anyone else in the world is going to vote. This would be huge, like very beneficial for us if this occurred. Because this rock band stuff, this is tourism generation stuff. I don't know the exact mechanics, and I'm intentionally not looking them up until we get to that part of the game, just so that we can all kind of learn about it together. But this is a thing that ought to happen. You have to wonder who among us would not want there to be a Nobel Prize in Literature. Who am I outvoting, basically? I'm going to go pretty hard on it. That's 200 favor in. So that gets us north of many of the players. I would expect that Cyrus would be in favor of a Nobel Prize in Literature, right? Because he's got great works. He's definitely generating points. Jayavarman's probably in favor. I bet Poland is the player who is second in terms of domestic tourists, right? They must be generating great people points. I think this might even be overdoing it. I'm just trying to make sure that, like, if these three glob together against it and nobody else votes for it, we can push over. And it looks like at this point we wouldn't, right? I'd have to put up like one more vote. It's expensive. And then this would be really cool. We expect Dido and Jayavarman will both vote for themselves. Well, now I'm outvoting Dido. If Jadwiga really wants to put in on this, we just let her have it. The question is, do I want to put in enough to outvote Tomyris if she goes in for herself? Because I do want to have a bank to play with in case something comes up that's really important. I know I said that last time too, but I don't know that anything has come up that's really important. If we weren't at our growth cap in so many cities, this would be the thing, but the benefit of this is going to be somewhat limited. Yeah, I'm comfortable with these votes. So yeah, Jadwiga dumped 12 votes in. Okay, you got it. This has passed. Nobody was negative. I did not need to vote so hard. I thought some people might vote against it, just wanting it to not happen because they knew I would win, but apparently everybody loves a good Nobel Prize. And we've unlocked mass media. Like I said, we are not, in fact, going to change out our thing. Oh, I was going to build a builder here. Well, whatever. We'll build a builder up here. I probably should get this factory done, right? Okay, so, generate great writer, artist, and musician points. I have to imagine we are still the industry leader in these things. That's not the right thing. 25 to 4, 7, 5, yeah. A bunch of people are generating none. They are not participating in this race at all because they know it cannot be won. 4, 4, 27, 2, 2, 11. Okay. We are going to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. It is pretty much guaranteed. Jadwiga has declared war on Wilhelmina. Cyrus has declared war on Wilhelmina. Those two are getting buddy-buddy in a way that makes me a little nervous. And yes, I know, we need more housing. I always need more housing. Oops, that's not a camera control. That's the button that opens the Great Works pane. You know, some of the 4X games I play, you can move the camera around with WASD, and some of them you can't, and I never remember which ones are which. Alright, so now that we have our strategic resources mined and incoming, where do we want to put down the open-air museum for these two cities? I'd like to not put it downriver and not next to the volcano for Uppsala, and maybe downriver will be less of a problem when we eventually get a dam built. We could put it over here. That's nice and safe, and that tile has some value already. Yeah, alright. What about Stockholm's? Stockholm's could just go here. That's probably fine. It's not actually on the river. The tile like has an okay starting yield. You have lots of other territory to improve, but we don't have the money to purchase that territory at the moment. Next turn is when we're buying our archaeologist, right? 1600. Was it 1600 before? I was thinking 1160. It was probably 1600 before. I'm probably just spacey. Well, we're producing no culture at all in this city. So it's going to be a minute on that. You have 2 builds left. We're definitely going to go get the Amber. I'm wondering if he'd be best off just sailing north. Or maybe even sailing back over here. I'd really like to put up the open-air museum before we leave. What would it be to purchase the... This would delay the archaeologist for a turn. And we wouldn't want to work an open-air museum tile here anyway, so we wouldn't get any benefit from it. Because we really need to focus on growth tiles. Yeah, I think maybe the right play is he sails down to Norrköping and gets up the thing. Or maybe we do want to wait until the antiquity site is cleared so we get maximum benefit. Maybe that's being a little greedy. So you could improve this, and then what are we getting next and how long? We could get both copies of the Amber and then sell one of the copies of Amber off. And that would mean that there's no more charges up there, so we can move this guy up there to help deal with that stuff. I mean, he really wants to be down here. We're just experiencing a little bit of a money crunch right now, or rather, we have a ton of income, but we also have a huge number of things that we have to do. Okay, so we lost our amenity from garrison units policy that has become obsoleted. Maybe +1 movement if starting turn in friendly territory? That's actually probably pretty good in the situation we're in. We have a lot of, like, builders running around and stuff. And we're going to keep public works active for a little while longer. Select for ourselves a new civic. We have the ability to build neighborhoods. I just have to get around to it. What's the next big play for us? Market economy is pretty cool. Since we are encouraged to be doing international trade routes already by our green card. +4 tourism can be built once per city. Requires a neighborhood and cannot be... Oh, this is a building that is built in the neighborhood district. Yeah, we should get access to this. The next big tourism increaser is heritage tourism, and we will head in that direction. The Sydney Opera House is great. This is probably like the next thing. Then we have a governor title to spend. Do we want to get Harbor Master and Tax Collector going? Or do we want to... What else would we do? We would hire Liang to go somewhere. Yeah, that might actually still be worth doing. Well, I want to get to Contractor, though. Yeah, alright, let's pick up Harbor Master. We want to get down to Contractor so that we can bounce her around the Empire buying districts, which is a thing that we theoretically will actually do with our gold at some point. Yeah, this guy's just going to stay here, be patient. There's no sense in pushing for the extra builds before we have the population to work the extra built-up tiles anyway, right? Nope. Not even looking at the deal, you are not allowed to have David. We love him here. We are his only family. Hey, look at that. We earned a great person. Why, it's Edgar Allan Poe. Man, I haven't read a Poe story in such a long time. I was like way into him at an age that is maybe too young to be way into Edgar Allan Poe. Alright, you've arrived. We could just siphon funds at 84%. Kind of think maybe we want to gain sources. You know what? Let's do a listening post. Let's throw up a listening post and increase our visibility on Cyrus's empire. That can't fail, and it's a thing that will actually have some significant value for us. And here we will finally build that builder I was talking about. Ooh, we do have access to Broadway. That's important. Plus 20% culture, a free random civic boost, and lots of great writer and musician points. 41 turns is not ideal. Must be built on flat land adjacent to a theater square, so we'd have to... Well, we could just get rid of a lumber camp, though. That's not so bad. Let's get that builder built. But we might actually do that. Granted, that is not the city where we are producing our largest... Ah, that's right. Stupid having to spend a charge to remove marshes. Well... It's fine. This is not the city where it is most beneficial to us to gain plus 20 culture, obviously, but I believe there is a thing somewhere that makes you want to have at least one wonder in each of your major tourism cities. There's a card or a boost from something, if I remember correctly, that increases the tourism output of cities that have built a wonder. No, I haven't actually looked at our open-air museums at all. Hold on, let me turn off the yield icons. It totally does have reindeer in it. I'm not sure why. I guess reindeer are culture? Question mark? I'm not 100% sure there. Alright, we got our raven. We got more arts. We have so many places to put art. So jam that art into the Hermitage. Right, because we want to fill up the slots in Pingala's city. The Hermitage is going to auto-theme. Let's maybe move some works of art over to there. I guess we're going to have to wait for him to put all of his stuff in the art in the museum anyway. But here, we can throw the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel into this other gallery. You're still not doing anything yet. It does seem like it would be hard to move the chapel ceiling around, doesn't it? I don't know, I guess we have very skilled engineers. Some might even say they are truly great. Viga has finished her Taj Mahal. We're pumping out wonders and great people at such a speed that we probably will be okay on era score, I think. Look at our adorable little entertainment district. I really do love all of the little bits of art in the districts and stuff here. So we have cultural heritage. We should probably be running this card. We've also revealed shipwrecks as a resource. Those are just antiquity sites that are at sea. Obviously, the Sydney Opera House is going to be a Vasterus kind of problem. I finished that builder, right? Okay, cool. We're going to reclaim Public Works and use that slot to put our bonus tourism card in. Double tourism from great works of art. Pretty valuable. We have 5 envoys here. Let's go ahead and max out Kumasi, get that type bonus going. And then also get the type bonus from the middle of Palenque. Just extra culture and science. Keeping our amenity levels pretty high. You have 1 charge left, and your charge is going to be building an open-air museum right there. I think Uppsala is not currently working that tile, right? Or does not currently own that tile, but I want to swap it back over here. Once a tile has an open-air museum in it, you can't swap it anymore, so we want to make sure we do that now. Fisherman in reclusion among the Lotus Stream. You know, I'm not even really looking at the Great Works, which is kind of... Now that I realize it, kind of really uncultured and crappy. Somebody worked really hard on those. You should pay a little bit of attention. Alright, so this builder can be the one who gets down here and finally rebuilds this farm, right? Do I need to improve any tiles for this city at this point? It would be best if there was something on there. We're kind of working almost everything. We'll come back. There are other tiles that could be improved more, and that tile is fine. It's just not great. So in Uppsala, we could build Broadway, and we could build it a little bit faster, but we'd have to destroy that extremely good tile to do so. We also actually have, adjacent to the commercial hub, adjacent to cattle. Oh wow, yeah, we actually do have a spot where we could build the Great Zimbabwe. And it gives +1 trade route capacity. We could just chop down the trees over here and use those for the open air museum. If we wanted to dam the river, we'd go there. That might be worth doing. We got a lot of valuable stuff along that river now. I really do love extra trade route capacity, though. Trade routes from this city get +2 gold for every bonus resource within 3 tiles of the city and in this city's territory. So, 1, 2, 2. That we get that bonus twice. That part's not really interesting. The part that I like about this is the trade route capacity. Let's build that dam first, because we're having housing problems, and also that river is making me nervous. We could build ourselves another district. We could build ourselves a temple. We do need to get our faith output up. It is too low currently to be buying stuff with. And it doesn't take very long to build the temple. My concern is just that, you know, Broadway is time limited. Somebody will build it eventually. Let's get our temple first. Over here, we finished our watermill, which is great. We have tons of housing, which is a weird feeling. The harbor would be valuable, but we have to buy a tile to put it where I want to put it. I suppose we could put up walls. Walls do provide tourism. They provide a single point of tourism at this point. I don't really want to... Oh, theater square. Duh. Right, we would like to have a theater square in the district. Or in the city. Well, let's not build it on the first land that will flood if sea levels rise. Let's build it over here. We should definitely at least have a theater square. And yeah, like that is just that's gonna take a long time to build. It's alright, this city's probably never gonna produce anything of terrible import. Oh, I have extra copies of stuff we need to try to trade off. Well, let's try to do some version of this here. So, I don't really want to give you anything other than the resource. Yeah, that's fine. I gotta be cognizant of when my deals for my resources end. Enemy spy stole the tech boost to chemistry. Stole is kind of a weird word to use here. What they mean is somebody got a tech boost to chemistry. They didn't impact us in any negative way. But now we know there's a spy in Uppsala, so that's a thing to be concerned about. We have some valuable things in Uppsala. Okay, so that has now themed... That's not the button. This one. Yep, that's now themed out that museum. Pretty good. Triggers the Eureka moment for 2 random technologies from the industrial or modern era and reveals oil. You know, that's not terrible. It would be good to know where the oil is. Sure. Give me this great person. Apparently somebody wanted us to get a scientist. Now we have even more envoys in Rapa Nui. So you go forth and reveal oil to us. And also, replaceable parts and military science have been boosted. Replaceable parts is a pretty important technology. It has, that's the technology that gives you access to modern infantry. Really, the mausoleum still hasn't been built. Huh. The Sydney Opera House would have to be in one of those 2 tiles, and I believe that's the case for the mausoleum as well. Oh, the mausoleum goes on land. And it would have to be built over a tile that's pretty good, but An extra charge of a great engineer is a powerful thing. That said, lighthouses are also powerful things. We're not going to build the Sydney Opera House without a little bit more production. So why don't we make our lighthouse so that we can make our shipyard? Trade route's almost done. We can start working on a shipyard over there as well, or maybe a builder. Who knows? We're very close to being able to buy that archaeologist. Yeah, we kind of have a lot of plates spinning at the moment in our mainland empire, and then kind of like nothing of interest is going to happen over here for a long time. That's fine. A lot of these cities are still in their early growth phase. Like I said, my feeling is that we probably ought to run the trade route out of Norrköping, or sorry, the trader we're building in Norrköping out of like this city, just to get the extra resources. Yeah, come over here and clear this instead. I think I'm gonna build the Great Zimbabwe. It looks like nobody else is going to take it. It's so late in the game. But I really do want to get this dam finished first, and the Chop of the Forest will help with that. So city-states are still being bounced all over the place. Scythia is just developed Scorched Earth, so she's not that far behind us on culture, actually. Somebody else is making Cristo Redentor, that's fine. The Great Admiral Horatio Nelson has gone to the Khmer, that's not a big deal. I've gained the Casus Belli to declare a colonial war on Dido. The emergency targeting Dido has failed. Sorry, what is a colonial war? 2 technology eras behind you. Halves the usual grievances generated. Boy, that's shitty. That's a real crappy thing that you're allowed to do that. Like in a whole bunch of ways, too. Alright, so this guy is removing forests. This guy's building open-air museums. So before we make this decision, it would take 19 turns to build the shipyard. We don't really have anything else pressing. This builder would not be a very good builder, but even a weak builder over here. Honestly, we don't have enough tiles to improve over here to make use of a strong builder anyway. That might be worth doing. It's possible that it's right to construct an industrial zone for the purpose of just getting some industry going in this city. I think it's going to have a hard time. But the shipyard is probably what we want to build first. So 19 turns is a long time, and I'm wondering if we should run the trade route out of here just to make that not such an issue. If I were to run a trade route to Jayavarman, let's say to his capital or something, 4 extra industry on top of the city's existing, yeah, that's a big increase. Yep, we're just going to let all those other cities be a little weak for the moment. I got a couple of turns off of that. Yeah, see, our population is increasing rapidly here. So now that we're buying this archaeologist, now we can actually spend some time buying tiles over here. And just in time for us to actually have the people necessary to work them as well. We may as well just wait there. Alright, so we got cultural heritage. We have ourselves some capitalism. Now what we really need is a new government. So, democracy has 3 yellow cards and 2 purples. Communism has 3 yellows and 1 purple. Communism also gives +6 production per citizen in any governed city and a flat 10% science. While democracy gives massive bonuses to trade routes with allies and a discount on gold purchasing. That does kind of fit what we're doing. Also gives us access to a purple card that gives units 5 combat strength when defending, and 4 housing on a card. That's pretty good. This gives us an increase to domestic trade routes, but because we're going for a tourism victory, we're strongly incentivized to be trading externally anyway. Yeah, I think what we want is suffrage. We would like it if we were a democracy. That is definitely the next place we are going. City-states are changing loyalty and declaring war on people all over the place, and we just sort of don't care. Working on more trade route buildings. Okay. I know the world is beating a path to your tourist sites, but be warned. Our people possess blue jeans and rock music and are not afraid to use them. If this seems like a strange thing to say, this is a reference to the fact that in Civ 5, when you were pushing tourism, when you surpassed somebody with tourism enough to win the game, you had to do it to every Civ, just like in this one. They would say a really strangely written line about their people buying your blue jeans and listening to your rock music. It's sort of an in-joke for people who played the previous Civ game. She's trying to tell us that she is in position to defend herself culturally, I guess? It sure doesn't look like it. You can see we now have the most domestic tourists. We have passed everyone in total culture generated since the beginning of the game. At this point, not a huge surprise. That number's getting pretty alright. Well, we're not going to be able to enter Dido's land ever, is my guess, so I suppose this guy can just come home. So now we have the antiquity sites. We should remove antiquity sites now from any territory that we intend to use. We also had to let's re-declare our friendship here before we do anything, so that I do not forget. Okay. But my immediate inclination is to try to take advantage of antiquity sites elsewhere in the world before other people can do it, and then get the stuff that's in our territory later. I suppose we know one of the things we want to do first is remove this antiquity site. So I guess let's make that a priority, because I want to be able to build an open-air museum there. That tile is amazing. You can go ahead and remove these woods so that you can move there to build the open-air museum. You can have the tile that you are standing on purchased. Although, you know what? I would probably rather purchase this one. Let's get that done. Okay, let's go sell some stuff. First of all, we gotta remember to re-ally with this dude. And now let's sell some resources. Who needs what? I have amber that you don't have. I have... Oh man, I have a ton of stuff you don't have. You don't have diamonds either. Okay, what would you give me? Alright. Sorry, I forgot. 25? What's the actual number? The actual number is 18 gold per turn and 13 extra gold. That's acceptable. That's actually real good. I'm happy about that. Do you have... Would you like my embassy? No? Okay. Do I have anything you don't have? I have this. You will surrender to me your... Oh, interesting. Apparently he really wants cocoa. Everybody really likes cocoa. Jesus. He must be having serious amenity issues. Shoot, I should have come to him first. Wow. 26... Can I also get... Alright, give me your economy. He must be in a desperate position. They wouldn't let me push the gold per turn any higher. I assume that was all of his gold per turn. So we could build a cathedral here. I think I want to get started on that Broadway, but that's very interesting. Oxford University is available too. 2 randomly chosen free technologies when completed. It has great work of writing slots in it. But Broadway's a little bit more relevant. Hold on. Can we just go real quickly and see if I'm making that up about there being a card? I swear there was something that made me want to have a wonder in each city. But I could be... Like, it's absolutely possible that I could be, like, mixing it up with something from Civ 5, or just slightly misremembering. It's just plus 25% tourism. Oh, this is new stuff. There's a fourth level of government. Let's not worry about this too much right now. I'm just checking these to make sure that I understand all the bonuses. And then there's the future. So the game now extends beyond the current era in a way that is going to remain a mystery to us for the moment. I might be making it up. It's possible I'm just inventing that. That said, we have lots of other things going on in other places, and maybe it would be a good idea to build Broadway here just because we're very busy everywhere else. We need flat land adjacent to the theater square, so actually it would be really awkward to build it in either of these places without first removing the antiquity sites, which we are not able to do easily because I'm already sending this dude off this way. Yeah, let's build Broadway here. And that's the sort of thing you might want a great engineer to help out with. Ooh, instantly builds a factory and workshop in this district and improves all your factories. Hey, that sounds like exactly the sort of thing that we might like to throw down in an industrial district produced, say, over here. Unfortunately, we are no longer the global leaders on great engineer points, although we're going to be again after we build this factory. So we have to watch that. I may have to patronage James Watt if I want him. And the construction of this factory is going to help with Broadway. But it's unpowered. Well, that's resolvable. We could power that. We could build Ruhr Valley. There's just plus 20% production in this city. It's not bad. But why don't we build a coal power plant first? We also have access to another industry building here. Yeah, let's build ourselves a coal power plant and see exactly how much damage that does to the environment. We gotta learn, right? We gotta know how this system works. Alright, so that's an extra copy of Wales. Oh, you know what? I didn't even finish my tour of people. He doesn't have a lot of money. He also has his own whales. Cyrus, hold on. Come back to the people who don't like me. First, we make deals with the people who do like us. You don't have either of these things, and it looks like, ooh, you don't value them very highly either. Alright, never mind. We'll come back to you. Oh my, she likes this quite a bit. Everybody loves cocoa. It seems like a more valuable luxury than some others. Yeah, wow, that's a crazy amount of money for that. You know, she has a pretty large empire. It may be the case that she just needs a ton of amenities. Alright, now we gotta work with people who don't like us. I suppose we could trade off one copy of our, Wales to Tamiris? 6 and 14 is not a bad price. Okay, now let's talk to people who don't like us. Oh no, I traded off all the extras. Never mind. Plus 200 gold per turn. What you might describe as a pretty good start. This is going to make it easier for us to buy important buildings in our new districts, perhaps. Not really sure what my plan is. But there's gunfire. Got cannons and stuff over here. 1250 AD? I looked up at the date like, oh, I know when cannons started being a real thing. Are we around then? No, I don't know that. Why would I even pretend to myself to know that? Alright, war is hell, it turns out. None of this stuff changes our policies at all, I don't think. We certainly can't afford to lose housing. We're going to be very housing-focused in our government for a long time. But obviously we will take tourism over just about anything. We definitely do not need to spend any envoys right now. When we get another envoy, we'll go ahead and hit 6 with Palenque. You know, actually, we can right this moment become the suzerain of Palenque. Yeah, sure, why not? Get a housing bonus. Also, discover Halong Bay. And discover that this is going to rebel? It must be city pressure. It must be pressure entirely from this one city. Because there's nothing else large nearby. City-states don't produce any pressure. Well, serves the Netherlands right, I say. Finally! Also, the heavy rains along the Tonistan River could have been a major problem. Thankfully, a dam was in place to control them. And he's still got a tile fertilized, but not as much. I'm not clear on whether the dam reduces the number of tiles that get fertilized or reduces the degree of fertilization, or exactly how that works. Yeah, we go farm, farm, farm. This guy does not have enough charges to do all that, but we will do that. The city is already bigger than Karlstad, due in no small part to the fact that Karlstad is starving at an alarming rate. And Dido's been too busy to declare war on us, which is probably about the best outcome we could have hoped for on that one. I just got an achievement, but I have no idea what for. Yeah, Mount Vesuvius really has not done anything here. Oh, I circumnavigated the globe. I've revealed a tile in every vertical line of the map, and I've received 5 era score for doing so. I have also set up a listening post in Pasargadae. So, he wants to do another thing. As much as I want to just rob him, let's go ahead and gain sources. I want to make certain that our next mission is successful. And with gain sources, we might actually be able to get up to 100% there. And if we do, then we are guaranteed to gain XP on this spy rather than him being caught and murdered. I have strong feelings about that. So we may as well set up this farm, and then we'll go and figure out the open-air museum position up north. Actually, do I want to do the farm thing, or should I just set an open-air museum here? I probably should do that, right? Yeah, probably. Because there's no other... We're never going to be in control of any other land tiles, so... Just get as many of these up as we can. We're not even going to really benefit from it there just yet. So we need a shipyard. What's that cost? 1160. Okay. Let's buy the trader right now. I will run the trade route from here because we could really use the extra industry. We'll just go ahead and build the shipyard, I guess. Then how I want to do this? No, I think I want to start on the Opera House. And it does not matter which tile we build it in, right? Yeah, we'll get started on that. We'll run a trade route out of here to a nice high industry neighbor. We'll get maybe some chopping going on. Maybe, we'll see. And you know, we still haven't seen a notification that the era is coming to an end, right? Oh, you guys just live here now. And we are... Oh man, our city-states are chipping in their coal. I don't have a use for this much coal. Frankly, I'm not sure that I would want to, given what it seems like it might do to the environment. Let's take it really slow here. Enemy spy has eluded capture. Okay, so now we know when spies fail at stuff, they do not necessarily reveal their employer. An enemy spy from an unknown civ has escaped. We can get 4 industry by sending our spy across the water. Looks like that's the best we're going to get. Stockholm is definitely a worse trade route. We are already running a trade route to him. But I certainly don't want to run this trade route to anybody else. There's a lot of money to be made here as well. That's a really, really powerful route. Yeah, I don't want to run into anybody who's not an ally. Ah, and we get our first archaeology. Let's excavate this artifact. Our archaeologist has noticed petroleum seeping out of the rocks. Perhaps our geologist would like to take a look at this, because that's the thing we have, geologists, in 1280. We discovered an ancient battlefield littered with items from Wilhelmina and Cyrus. Discovery appears to have been buried since the Renaissance era. So these antiquity sites are not generated on the map at the beginning of the game. They're actually placed by things that the players do. So this is a tile where in the Renaissance era, some unit was killed in battle. I'm going to choose to unearth an artifact from Cyrus. It actually doesn't matter for us. The reason that we're getting a choice here is because theming artifacts is reliant on getting a bunch of things from the same era, but from different people. It doesn't matter for us because our museum's automatically going to theme. It doesn't, that part of the game doesn't actually exist for us, unfortunately. Again, because I do think that is a kind of a fun thing. Alright, we're down to 61 turns already. It's high. That's a high number. Alright, we've got ourselves another dam. And there's a lot of murder going on over here. Not to mention the religious war. I'm kind of glad that proposal in the World Congress ended up boosting Buddhism, right? So it doesn't have any part in this. These two can just struggle back and forth uselessly forever. That is just fine by me. Sometimes the friendship thing can get a little awkward. And sometimes a nation will decide that you are a threat, and then your declaration of friendship expires, and they're not willing to give it to you again, and you have to do stuff for them. That should not ever be a problem, I think, with Tamiris. Tamiris is a really loyal friend. So we don't really need the bonus amenity right now from the zoo. I think this is the time when we want to put up the Great Zimbabwe. I want the extra trade route. And, of course, as a wonder, it will generate additional tourism for us. So this trade route was running to Plock. Probably still should. Do we have a trade route running to... We do have a trade route running to Tamiris. Alright, I'm just trying to make sure that we're continuing to pump out tourism to our neighbors. At some point, we're going to have to trade with people who are not our allies, but it doesn't have to be right now. So 3 industry, can we do better? Run 3 industry trade route to Issyk. This is why it's important to explore your allies' territory. Try to find those good trade route cities. Or it turns out we can reach Angkor Thom from here. Yeah, this is the city to trade with. We still have routes running to everybody else. And he's getting some benefit from that as well. So your job is to find the tile up here. It's probably that one. Like a fine tile, but not one that we have marked for anything else. I can't build the open-air museum... Wait, can you build open-air museums on desert hills? Yeah, you totally can, right? Yeah, so we could build it over here if we wanted to use this for something else. I don't think we do, though. I think that's fine. There's like a low-flying helicopter outside, it sounds like. I'm hoping that's not picking up on the microphone, or at least not too loudly. I'm not sure why that would be. You know, sometimes... Aircraft. I don't actually live that far from the airport, so... He'll probably get mad at us if we excavate from his territory, and also, I don't know that there's a lot of reason to do it. Let's just get this. An ancient battlefield littered with items from Dido and Jayavarman. Okay, well, let's take one of his... Ooh, check that out. A Khmer halberd from 1290. Sorry, no, I unearthed that in 1290. I was like, wait a second, isn't that now? So our archaeological museum is filling up nicely and will auto-theme when it gets full. We'll just have him grab anything. I don't think it much matters. Just grab whatever's closest. We could send him back across, I suppose, and dig up one of these tiles. Like, that tile actually would be pretty useful. It slows down filling our museum, but may well be worth it. Now I've got economics, and I don't remember why I wanted economics. Oh yes, I wanted Big Ben, that's right, because that's an extra slot. Must be built adjacent to a commercial hub owned by the city and a river. Immediately after construction, gold in treasury is increased by 50%. Well, isn't that interesting? So what are we headed for next? Probably radio, right? Radio gives us the seaside resort, And the ability to build broadcast centers in our theater squares. Yeah, that seems like the right thing to do. We're going to unlock flight as well, to receive tourism on any tile improvement that provides culture, equivalent to the improvement's culture output. I assume that this does not increase the amount of tourism provided by open-air museums. Because they natively provide tourism, right? It would be pretty bananas. I'm already on this tile. Plus 100% tourism from culture. It doesn't actually say. It can't, though, right? It can't make all of my open-air museums generate 20 tourism each. That would be very strong. I don't know, maybe it does. We're certainly going to find out. So the bad news is I actually can't build Big Ben in this city because all the tiles adjacent to this commercial district and also the river are already covered with stuff we can't remove. Other various wonders. Absolutely not. We could do it over here. Oh, maybe, well, I could probably build it over the open-air museum, and then we could just build the open-air museum over there instead. Not ideal. I think people do get mad at you if you remove antiquity sites from their territory. It might be really helpful for us to have access to some of these tiles. How many turns are we talking about here? 7? Yeah, alright. Who knows if we'll ever actually get another one of those up. Alright, here I am inclined to just purchase the lighthouse, because of how long it would take us to build it naturally. And then we'll buy ourselves an extra trader next turn. And with the lighthouse constructed, let's see. We're still losing population because we need another water tile. Going to grow out that way. Probably it won't actually grow out that way. I guess what we need now is just like any source of food. And this has a production on it as well. This poor city. Alright, yeah, so I want to buy that trader. Wait, will I be able to buy the trader next turn? Or 30, yeah, okay. It's so weird when the music drops out, like they reach the end of one piece and then they don't bother to start another piece for a long time. The Netherlands have denounced Scythia. Well, they're probably not actually going to declare war on Scythia. Rising smoke, humming machinery. Power of nature has been harnessed by Sweden in the cause of power and progress. As long as you define power and progress in, well, I mean power, I guess, but as long as you define progress in a certain way. Okay, so now we can form units into armies and armadas, which is cool. And we can declare a war of territorial expansion, which for some reason people will be okay with. Seems like the sort of thing you should not be cool with your neighbors doing. Maybe we just build the trader? Thing is, I kind of want to build Oxford. Plus 20% science in Pingala's city is a little bit more compelling. I did pick up the science thing, right? Yes, okay. We could also talk about laying down a holy site here. There's some tiles where we could put that down where it wouldn't really, or wouldn't obliterate anything important. I'm inclined to just build the armory because production. We are, oh, you know what, we're population capped. What we should do is build ourselves a neighborhood. So the reason that the neighborhood provides different amounts of housing on different tiles is because the housing produced is based on the tile's appeal. We haven't looked at the appeal lens at all, but some places to live are just prettier than others. You can positively and more frequently negatively affect the appeal of tiles by doing things like building mines on them and stuff, although actually this tile is still lovely. But yeah, you can see some of these tiles are pretty ugly, some of these tiles are very pretty, and tiles that have high appeal will actually end up being important to us when we start buying naturalists. Out of curiosity. Okay, our first naturalist is going to cost 1,600 faith. We're kind of moving in that direction. This is kind of why I think I want to build a holy site. We're going to need more faith income than we have. And this seems like an okay place to build it. I probably should have started building those earlier. And I do want to build the housing thing, but I want to get the faith income going, like, right now. We could change up our policies. It's hard for me to imagine we want to, though. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the policies we're running. We're unlikely to make a lot of policy changes prior to acquiring our new government. Tax collector for even more gold. God, I can't wait till we have contractor. And then we're thinking about probably building Big Ben in Uppsala eventually. And we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff that I want to build. A lot of big, expensive stuff. That powered coal plant, which is powering the factory, which is providing industry to all three of these cities, is definitely useful. I wish that this city had a little bit more industry. Just, it's a little awkward to do anything about it. Well, the city's not starving anymore. City population stagnate. Okay, why is that even in quotation marks? What a strange line of text. Orebro is close to having some basic defenses. See, there's been a ship owned by Phoenicia outside the city borders for the entire time that it has existed. And she's definitely making me nervous. I don't know that she's necessarily going to do anything. She's just making me really nervous. This makes me less nervous, although I suppose we ought to be paying attention to the religious victories, making sure... Yeah, okay. Nobody's really taken over. Everything is fine, and our victory continues apace. We're up to 270 tourism. We're building lots of relevant wonders. We're still generating lots and lots of great people points. I assume we are totally killing it on this scored competition. We are getting periodically denounced by people who have lots and lots of reasons to hate us. We're going to have to run a trade route to her eventually. We ought to just maybe bite the bullet on that and try to get her to stop hating us. Because if we could flip her to open borders and stuff, it would be useful. Alstad is still not feeding its people enough, you know. We all got problems. You guys are finally in position to do this. I think that we should end the video by getting flight just to satisfy my curiosity on whether it's going to make our open-air museums even more powerful. I can't imagine. It has to not work on them, right? Okay, so we are allowed to check the current score. Big surprise, we're absolutely demolishing everybody on this. We're doing a great job on our great people points. James Watt, we are outpacing the Netherlands now pretty significantly. Those extra buildings in the industrial zone helped quite a bit. And remember, the factory is the one that pushes production out to all the nearby cities. So factories providing a bonus to production is 6 extra production over on this island and stuff. I don't know that I actually want Adam Smith. If we got here first, I would probably just pass him down. It looks like Persia's actually generating enough great merchant points that they're totally in a position where they could just buy him if they wanted him. Yeah, we'll let them have him, though. I'm cool with that. The great scientist Alfred Nobel applies 20 free great people points toward recruiting all current and future great people. That's pretty powerful. We are not in a good position to get him. That's fine. I'm not too heartbroken about losing that one. Hey, what was I saving money for? I was saving money to buy the shipyard in Vastres, right? That's a good thing to do it for. Do it for? That's a good thing to do with that gold, is the thought I am trying to express. I'm allowed to declare war on Dido for so many different reasons. Well, we could put up a lumber mill here, I suppose. Is there anything else that's really pressing that we want to do with this worker? There is an unimproved... Oh, that tile's 4 spaces away from Stockholm, though, so we can't work it. You can still gain tiles outside of the workable area of your cities if you just generate so much culture that your city acquires all of the workable tiles and then is still generating a ton. Sometimes that happens. Let's go ahead and put the lumber mill in here, because the city could certainly use the extra production. Yeah, I should definitely be pushing to sell off these strategics, huh? I'm a little nervous about selling coal. What's she going to do with the coal? She's just going to use it to create pollution. What if I didn't want this or this? But I did want a lot more money. I could do that. I could do that. I could sell off a little bit of coal. Sure is an awful lot of weird lightning over here. John Jacob Astor. 500 gold and 2 envoys. Man. We have uses for 500 gold. I'm honestly not sure how highly I value the envoys, though. I'm wondering if maybe we should just pass on this. In the hopes of getting one that does something cooler. I don't actually know what other great merchants are available or what they do, unfortunately. So I don't know if we're going to get a better one. We get some value out of this, but this is only like 2 turns worth of gold. I'm going to pass. I have more envoys than I know what to do with already. I guess I'll just hold the other envoy for pulling a switcheroo on somebody if I have to. Not being the suzerain of Kumasi is fine. I don't care about that. At some point, I need to actually build some of these. Need to actually build some of these stone heads. These moai. Alright, so this turn we can buy the shipyard, which is an extra 3 production for the city. Takes a couple more turns off of the opera house. Can dig this up, freeing up this tile for stuff. This is one of my artifacts. Plate mail. Really? Did we make plate mail? Did that ever happen? I guess we had swordsmen. Those guys are wearing armor that looks like it could be plate. And themed. Yeah, we're producing a good amount of stuff here. Unfortunately, we're about to get a great writer, and even though we have built additional things that have great work slots in them, and we put great works of writing in our bank, like I said, we're gonna run out of great work slots. We won't have a spot for the second great work of writing that writer is going to produce. Well, he'll just wait until we do. At some point, the theater square that we're building over on the island will finish, and then we will just probably purchase the amphitheater, and then... At this point in the game, I don't know if I would sell a great work of writing. I guess to some extent it's going to depend on what people would be willing to give us in exchange. We could probably trade great works of writing for like great works of art, which will be more useful to us, so we might do some of that. So, double commercial hub and harbor adjacency bonuses, production for cavalry, open borders with all city-states, and +4 influence points per turn toward earning envoys. Doesn't seem great to me. Campus and industrial zone district adjacency is good. Remember, right now, our campus district adjacency bonuses are providing industry. So, like, this would be a bunch of extra industry in that city. That's pretty good, but I don't know that I want to build anything. Also, the ability to construct an additional spy. Probably pretty important. Okay, this guy will grant us a unique luxury. We can never get anywhere else. That's interesting. Hold on. Let's recruit you two. We know we want you two. Looks like we're maybe going to golden age here. I was too worried about our era score. If I pass on this, I wish I could still see other players' progress right now. If I pass on this, who's going to get the next one, and how soon? We don't have amenity problems right now. We're still gaining population, though. We have a city that's down to only content rather than happy, and none of our cities are ecstatic. I suppose I'll take him. Alright, so you go and invent toys. Up until this point, nobody has ever had a toy. Thank God John Spilsbury showed up. Okay, we got ourselves some fancy religious art. We got a lot of religious art in our civilization. Alright, so how are we... Is there a way that we can move things around? And we have... Okay, we have a slot. That's music. Huh. Doesn't look like a music slot. Music slots are supposed to look like that. Yeah, I thought Bolshoi Theater... Yeah, okay, that's definitely not actually a writing slot. It's just got the wrong graphic for some reason. So all of the slots that can contain anything are already containing great works of writing. There's nothing we could do to make a great work of writing containable here, but we could try to trade with somebody for like a great... Hold on, what actually do we have available? Okay, we have a whole art museum that's completely empty. So yeah, would this guy be willing to trade some of his great works? Let's see if we could get ourselves... Nope, he only has writing up for trade. How about other people who like us? You only have writing. Okay, you have some actual art. And they're not themed, so she's probably willing to trade some of them away. Or, like, just any work of writing. Okay, cool. Ha! I told you I'd get that Garden of Earthly Delights. Alright, so we'll move this to the palace, and that means that the great writer doesn't have to move. He can just drop his great work of writing right there. Okay. So our thief... Alright, he's up to 90% steal possibility. That's pretty good. And it's not going to get any higher. Alright, here I would really like to just get through these religious buildings. Oh. One of our volcanoes became active. We still have never had an eruption within our territory. Alright. So now we have flight. We have that flight bonus. Let's have a look at our tourism lens and see... No, okay. The museum is still generating... Hold on. Let's go one more turn, because the information doesn't always update in real time. But at the beginning of the turn, everything refreshes. So let's start a new turn and then see. Oh! An enemy spy neutralized my governor in the city of Stockholm, removing him from duty for 8 turns. Harsh. That's a useful governor. Well, we know where the spy needs to go. We're going to build ourselves a new spy and have him counter-spy. That is a real post-temple kind of problem, but let's go ahead and queue it so I don't forget. Because I will, as we all know. Thing is, I also really need 2 production. You know, the 2 production... Okay, it can wait until after the spy. Let's get the spy up and get ourselves protected. Okay, now we look at the tourism lens, and... Nope, still just 10. Okay, I figured it would be very powerful if the flight bonus applied to the open-air museum on top of the open-air museum already having that bonus. Okay, that makes sense. So, I think that is going to be it for us for today. We are at 283 tourism now. We are making some serious progress. Actually, we have 48 visiting tourists. That said, Cyrus is still a real problem. It would be extremely difficult for anybody else to win a tourism victory at this point due to our number of domestic tourists, owing to our extremely high culture output. But it is going to take us forever to win the game at this rate, so we may consider doing something about Cyrus. Also, maybe we'll finally experience a volcanic eruption. Yeah, I've talked a lot of trash about these volcanoes, and I would just like to take a moment to apologize, because I really don't want my holy site to completely fill with lava. And with that, we are going to end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see if we can overwhelm Cyrus with our, apparently, blue jeans and rock music. That's still how we're doing it here in 1360 AD. And we'll see you then.